Figured I'd come back and talk a little bit more about implicit bias and just where we are today in public education, where we are not having that conversation across the internet, across this atmosphere of America. It's kind of crazy what's happening. We have to ask ourselves, what is going on that we're not addressing the real issues? How is it that, every other day now we're hearing about a suicide of a young person simply because they can't access, you know, public services, or, the services are not working, bullying and all this other stuff, trauma. And then you have young children who think that they can push teachers down, because my sister actually got pushed down by a little one. Well, she wasn't exactly little. Let's put it like that. We, the people, are kind of responsible. We're the ones that didn't show up. It was my generation, and I was born in '58, so I'm 60. And right when I got out of high school, didn't think that I rushed to do public engagement or, engage in the process. That's not something that I thought about. I don't think I thought about these things until just recently, after I got my last one through high school, and I thought about how difficult that was and why was it so difficult. But believe me, there are other people out there that are having tremendous issues, and I mean tremendous. I couldn't imagine not being able to support my son, through redirecting the letter grade of F. None of my children ever got any Fs. I just don't understand it. And then I don't believe that people actually even think about what do we do? Why? Why would we even get involved in public education? Guess what? This is America. And America requires that we engage in the public process. And we don't normally do that. And this internet thing it's tremendously frustrating, simply because you're online 1 minute, then next thing you know, your computer updates or something, and you can't access your printer, or you can't access online. You got to figure that out. I mean, let's really be serious. We have not done the work that we have to do as a people. And when I start looking for where the work is happening, of course it's out there, I'm sure it is. But we have to do a better job at combining our efforts to support one another. Because actually, public policy and sustainability of public programs and resources only demonstrate the ability of the community to really create a foundational mold to kind of support everyone. And if it's broken in any one place, then it's like a sieve, it's leaking everywhere. I just couldn't imagine being homeless at this moment in my life. There are women out there that are homeless, and there are whole families out there that are homeless. And I couldn't imagine having nowhere to turn. I'm so happy that I was brought up in the family that I was, actually, that we had a lot of support from my mother. And my mother is like the matriarch in the family. And everybody kind of like leans on her. But guess what? She's been blessed because she was able to, withstand that and support the whole family. And she's outlived so many people that she's been in relationships with. She's like the only one standing. And it's kind of like, this is life, because that's your blessing. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I think that if we don't turn this around and get off of, being led down the rosy path of jumping off the cliff, following someone else about something else that has nothing to do with life, we, the people, have to look at the real foundational issues that are supporting our community and figure out how we stand together and ensure that we're creating pathways for businesses and entrepreneurship and capacity building and safe schools. And, we care about the same thing that everybody cares about in life. We care about safe schools. I want to send my child to school and think about someone going there and shooting it up. But then again, I think about how these children are being no support. But guess what? All this tax money, and we're only talking about dollars and how dollars don't make sense. And the more money that you dump on a problem, the less um, outcomes you kind of have. And here, goodness, to look at the lack of federal oversight and engagement. And then when you say federal oversight, well, what is that? Nobody wants to be managed by the federal government for whatever reason. Look at Trump. He says, well, hey, I got elected to do whatever I want. Now I'm representing, but it's me, whatever I want. And it doesn't have anything to do with the sacrifices that were laid in, blood and whatever you call it, when people give up their lives and we move this far in America, only to think that we could lose all of that. It's kind of crazy. And crazy is what life is all about if you don't start addressing the issues. It's not something that we can just let stand. We can't let stand the number of children who are not getting through the public education system who are African Americans. It's time to look at this issue and understand that the implicit bias and how they, kill our people in prison or in jails. When you become incarcerated, suppose you had a broken tail light. It doesn't matter what you went to jail for. Try not to have it for a broken tail light, because understanding that you could lose your life behind that because you failed to comply with an order from someone. And this is how low it's gotten. And I think we all know it. So what do we do? What can we do? This is something that I can do. I can talk. I can share my concerns. And I can encourage other people to talk and share their concerns. And go live and figure it out how we build, capacity amongst people who kind of are like-minded thinkers. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that think like I do. It is time for a change. It's time to get educated. It's time to understand about school site councils. And it's time to understand about board meetings and, knowing where you can access these resources, because you don't always have to go out your front door. All this stuff is online. You can find it all online. When your local city government usually does post, their community meetings and how they're spending the money online in the videos, if they're doing videos, or if not, then they have PDF forms where you can learn how to, work with the free programs to download Adobe to read what's happening around you. You have to be informed. And so that you can be an informed decision maker. And when you start registering to vote, if you haven't registered to vote, make sure you register to vote this year, because simply our voices have not been heard. And that's how come it's so easy to give a child a letter grade of F, because they figure that there's no consequence, and there hasn't been any consequences. Can you imagine that? I can't imagine what it would just be like to get the letter grade of F and not have the ability to change that, or not have the ability to do self-advocacy so that you don't have to, struggle. I mean, we're talking about real struggles here in life. That's what we're talking about. Well, this is long enough, less than 10 minutes. I just want to make sure that I can start putting it out there more, so maybe we can encourage people to join in the conversation. And if they're not willing to join in the conversation, at least listen up and understand that you are the one that's responsible for what is going on in your local community. And if you never voted before, or if you never participated in the city, in the county, or in the county board of supervisors, or understand there's a whole layer of governance that happens around you. And you pay taxes. And that's how the cities works, because the city works based on the number of people who are living in the city or in the surrounding areas. And then they get some money from the state or from the federal government, and they kind of decide what kind of services we have, and our cities have grown. And, we have huge corporations and businesses that are operating within our cities. But the frightening part is that they're not taking care of the people. And it's not about the people anymore. And so until we, the people, change what's going on and decide that we're going to stand up, then we change nothing. So it is all about self-advocacy. That's how we sustain our families, and that's how we sustain our lives, and that's how we sustain our children. And it's all about the children in the future. And I'm going to sign up for now. 10 minutes. I try not to go over 15 minutes. That's a good, little bit of time to share. But have a great evening. Just wanted to know that I'll be back tomorrow. So I've got nothing else to do.